Welcome back to another Australian Fashion Institute tutorial. In today's video, we're walking you through how to transform your mannequin into a custom fit professional tool that matches your body or your client's custom measurements. This method is a fantastic way to save money on new dress forms by adapting to the one you already have. This is the exact method we use in-house in our studio. Let's get started with the tools you'll need. First up, you'll need a mannequin or a dress form. If you're planning to purchase one, I highly recommend buying a size slightly smaller than you need. That way, it's easier to pad out and upscale to match any body size or shape. Next, you'll need your own or your client's custom measurements. If you don't already have a measurement system in place, I have this PDF download available. It is designed specifically for bridal wear, custom garments, and professional pattern drafting. It includes 20 essential body measurements that will help you pad your mannequin accurately. This is the exact form we've used in our couture studio for over a decade, and it's a really great way to eliminate the guesswork and stress during fittings. You'll find the link to that measurement sheet in the description below. You'll also need a pair of fabric scissors, some dressmaking pins, and a measuring tape. Now let's talk padding materials. In this tutorial, I'll walk you through 3 different ways to pad out your mannequin, depending on your budget and what materials you have on hand. You can mix and match these methods as you need, but here are some padding options. The first one is quilted calico fabric. This is one of my favorites. It's ideal for building up volume and structure on your mannequin. A more budget-friendly alternative is cotton wadding. It's soft, pileable, and really easy to layer. Next up, we have polyester wadding. Perfect for stuffing and adding volume, especially in rounded or curved areas. You can use it on its own or combine it with other materials. Now let's talk about molded padding, which is the method we use in-house for creating custom garment shapes. There are lots of padding options available, but one of my favorites to start with is hip pads. Don't be fooled by the name, they're not just for the hips. These pads are great for shaping the outer thighs, the lower tummy, or even the upper back. They're especially useful when working with rounded backs or softer body shapes. We also like to have a variety of shoulder pads on hand. These are incredibly versatile and can be used anywhere on the mannequin to build up shape or add softness and fullness to certain areas. You'll see I have a few different types with me, but don't worry if you only have one kind, that's absolutely fine. Just use whatever you have to get started. There are also pre-made kits online called form fitting systems. These are essentially the same idea, just pre-packaged and often a lot more expensive. Now we've gone through the materials, let's get started. Let's move on to padding the mannequin using either your own measurements or your client's. For this example, we will be using the molded padding. We'll be starting from the lower body and working our way up. If you're making a flowy skirt or a garment that isn't fitted below the waist, you will only need to pad the upper body. But if the design is fitted from the waist down, you'll need to adjust the hips, waist, and glutes. In my case, my client's hips are larger than this mannequin's, so I'll be starting with the hip pads. If you don't have these, that's completely okay. You can use shoulder pads or any padding material you have on hand. Simply place the pads where the extra volume is needed and pin into place. Next, we'll move on to the waistline. I'm grabbing some shoulder pads and we'll position them along the waistline area. A quick tip is that some people have a higher or lower waistline than the standard mannequin. To get your waistline level right, measure from the base of your neck down to the waist and mark this point. If you are using a measurement chart sheet, this is marked as measurement U on the form. Also, because my client's stomach is slightly fuller, I will be adding a couple extra shoulder pads to the front waist area to mimic that shape. Always remember that there's no correct way to pad the mannequin. Just keep measuring as you go until you get your accurate measurements. I'm measuring the waist and checking my hip blends, and I can already see that we've gained a few inches, which is exactly what we want. Continue to add padding to the areas where you need more fullness until you hit the exact measurement you need. Now onto the bust. My client's chest isn't much bigger than the mannequin's, so I'm simply adding one pad at the top of the bust and one underneath to round out the shape. Even though I've added padding to the bust and the cups look like they're in the right place and the right size, my client's front bust measurement is still not full enough. If you're using our measurement chart, this would be measurement V. To fix this, I'll be adding some padding along the side seams to gently increase the fullness in this area. I will keep adding padding until the measurement mimics my client's body. Now we need to add a bit more padding to the upper waist, right where we added fullness earlier. This will help smooth the shape and give us a more natural transition from the waist to the bust. I'll be using the shoulder pads here. From the back, I'm checking that the back width matches my client's measurement. And thankfully it does, but if your client's measurement is larger than the mannequin, you'll need to add some fullness. You can simply place some shoulder pads along that backline area to build it out. Little tip, if you add padding here, make sure to recheck your measurements, especially the bust circumference, as this adjustment will also increase that area slightly. Now for the glutes. If you're making a fitted design from the waist down, it's important to match your client's natural curves. If your client's glute or hip line starts higher on the mannequin, just mark the corrected height with a pin and add your padding here. You can use shoulder pads or any type of padding to build out the volume in that glute area. Remember to keep taking measurements as you go. If you find more fullness is needed, just continue adding padding into those areas until the mannequin matches your client's body measurements. Most mannequins have unnaturally square shoulders, unlike real bodies. To fix this, I'm adding a shoulder pad to each side. This will help replicate the natural slope. Keep in mind, this will add some slight length to your shoulder length measurement. Adding shoulder padding will slightly increase your shoulder to apex distance, so adjust accordingly. Let's go back to the bust for a moment. If your client has a fuller bust or you simply need to add more volume in the chest area, here's a quick and easy solution. You can keep adding more padding until the bust measurement is correct, or use a bra that already fits your client well. Place it on a mannequin and stuff it with polyester wadding or soft padding until the measurement matches. It's a simple and realistic way to build out the bust shape without overcomplicating things. If your client has a fuller bust, you might also need to add fullness to the upper chest area. This helps avoid any gaping at the neckline. You can use any type of padding you have on hand and build it up gently until the shape feels smooth and filled out. This will make your mannequin reflect your client's body properly. It's important to note, as you pad the bust, you are also adding vertical length to the torso. Be sure to recheck the shoulder to apex measurement. That's from the center of the shoulder seam down to the fullest part of the bust. If your padding adds too much height, it can throw off your garment's bust shaping. Adjust the fullness as needed so the bust point stays in the correct place. This ensures your mannequin not only has the correct measurements, but also reflects the true bust proportions and position. And that's all there is to it. Just remember to keep it simple. Measure, pad, remeasure, repeat. Work section by section, and before you know it, your mannequin will be a near perfect replica of yours or your client's body. Now let me take you through an alternative method using quilted calico. Now for the next method, you can use any type of wadding or quilter's calico you have on hand. For this example, I'll be using quilter's calico and some cotton wadding, just because it's thicker, easier to handle, and it's what I have available right now. This method is super simple and follows the same process we did in the last method. Let's say I want to expand the stomach, hip, or waist area. All I need to do is cut a strip of calico or wadding. The thickness and height of the strip will depend on the area you're targeting. For example, if you want to add volume to the waist, not the stomach, cut your strip narrower. In this demonstration, I want to add thickness to the waist, stomach, and hip areas, so my strip is quite wide. Then you want to wrap it around the area that needs more fullness and simply pin it in place as you go. The strips don't need to be perfect. You can use scrap fabric, leftover calico, or any padding you have on hand. Once the front is padded, I repeat the same process on the back and pin both sides together at the side seams to keep the shape even and symmetrical. Just like in the last method, be sure to take measurements after each layer of padding. You'll be surprised how much even a single layer can add to your circumference measurements. If you want to add more volume to the hip circumference, I simply fold a piece of wadding and place it along the side of the hip. If you need more shaping through the stomach area, just continue layering the wadding until you reach your desired width and profile. It's important to note, whatever padding and width you add at the lower waistline, make sure you mirror it at the top of the waistline. This will ensure your vertical depth remains balanced and your waist circumference stays accurate from front to back. Now for the bust area, I'll be using a bra that fits the client perfectly. We're going to follow the same method we used earlier, placing the bra on the mannequin, stuffing it with polyester wadding or padding until the bust matches the client's measurements. This helps build out a realistic shape quickly and ensures the bust fullness is in the correct position without any gaping. If you need a step-by-step breakdown, refer back to the process we used in method 1 earlier in this video. If you need to correct the upper chest fullness, you can simply use the wadding and place it underneath the bra as so. Make sure you measure your shoulder to apex measurement for accuracy. To adjust the shoulder length using this method, simply place some wadding under the bra strap on the mannequin. This will help lift the shoulder line to match your client's measurement if needed. Just keep in mind, this adjustment will increase the shoulder to apex measurement, so continue to add wadding gradually and re-measure as you go to stay accurate. Let's not forget about the back. Start by checking your back width measurement on the mannequin. If it's too narrow, add some wadding across the back shoulder area to build it out. You can also add more padding to the top of the back if needed. Also consider adding some width and depth to the side seams. This step will also help to increase your overall bust circumference evenly. Continue to measure as you go. As you can see, these are the two main padding methods we've explored so far. If you have both materials on hand, feel free to combine them, whatever gives you the best result. There is no hard and fast rule when it comes to padding your mannequin. These are simply tools and versatile methods you can adapt to suit your workflow, your clients, or your body measurements, and a way to transform your dress form to any size you need. Let's move on to the final method. In this final method, we'll be using polyester wadding to build out the form. All you need to do is cut a piece of wadding roughly the size of the front or back of your mannequin. Then, using a hot iron, simply press around the shape of the mannequin. What this does is gently mold the wadding to the contours of the form. As you move around, you can layer more and more wadding in the area where you need extra width, following the process we used in the previous methods. When you press new layers on top, the heat from the iron bonds the fibers together, essentially turning multiple layers into one smooth piece. Keep in mind that ironing this will slightly flatten the wadding, so you may need to use more layers to achieve the desired volume. This method is especially useful if you only need to pad out a few key areas, but as you can see here, I'm demonstrating it across the entire mannequin. To match the backside panels, just press the edges together and secure with pins when needed to hold everything in place. It's a simple, budget-friendly method that gives a clean finish, but it's more time-consuming, so take your time getting it right. It's important to note polyester wadding is a heat-sensitive material. It can melt or burn if the heat is too high. Always use a medium to low heat setting, and if you're unsure or haven't done this before, use a press cloth between the iron and the wadding to avoid direct contact. It's also ideal to test on a scrap piece first to make sure it responds well to heat. This will allow you to shape your padding safely and precisely without damaging the materials or yourself. And that's it. Now you know how to professionally pad out your mannequin to match your body or your client's measurements using simple tools and techniques we've relied on in our studio for over a decade. Now that your mannequin is shaped and ready, it's time to finish it off with a clean and professional look. I'm going to be placing one of our custom mannequin slipcovers over this form. This is part of a pattern we've designed specifically for this purpose. This is the exact cover we've used in our studio for over 10 years, and it's been an essential part of our couture workflow. The mannequin cover is beginner friendly and it comes with easy to follow video instructions. It's completely pinnable, so you can work directly on the form just like a normal mannequin. It's designed to smoothly cover all your padding, giving a polished professional finish. This pattern comes in a full size range from extra small through to extra large, making it incredibly versatile to have in your studio or your sewing kit. You can purchase the pattern via the link in the description below. I have also listed all the materials I have used in today's tutorial. Thanks so much for watching and happy sewing.